By the mid-1st century BC, Rome was the undisputed apex predator in the Mediterranean jungle, but it was facing a crisis that threatened potentially to be terminal. And the reason for that was a series of convulsive civil wars. The first fought by Julius Caesar. His coin is shown here. His reputed ancestor Aeneas carrying his father, and the Palladium, the emblem of Troy, from the burning ruins of the city. Julius Caesar was assassinated, and a further series of civil wars tore Rome apart. First of all, Mark Antony, Caesar's lieutenant, chased and wiped out the assassins of Julius Caesar, and he did so in association with this young man, originally called Octavius. He was the great nephew of Julius Caesar, but then was adopted by Caesar as his son, and so took on the name Caesar. And together, Mark Antony and the young Caesar, having wiped out Caesar's assassins, then divided the Roman world up between them. The young Caesar then turned on Antony, wiped him out, so he then ended up supreme. And he was able to make of Rome and her empire a predator that was even more terrifying, even more carnivorous than it had been before. And the reason for that really was twofold. The first was that the young Caesar, or Augustus, as he became in 27 BC, a magnificent title, essentially meaning that he was midway between the heavens and the earth. What he provided was peace, order, and stability. And the Romans, who had always been proud of their traditional republican system of government, were content to forego their liberties in exchange for the order that Augustus provided. But the other reason why Augustus was able to establish an autocracy in Rome so effectively was the purely accidental one that he lived for a very, 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 very long time. So that when he finally died, there were very few people who could actually remember what the Republic had been. And he was then succeeded in turn by this man, his stepson and adoptive son, greatest general in Rome, Tiberius, who again ruled for a lengthy period of time, provided great stability and order. So that by the time Tiberius died, essentially the autocratic system of government had bedded down in what had previously been a republic. However, it wasn't all entirely plain sailing, because there was no official position for the emperor to hold. And so every emperor who succeeded his predecessor had to carve out, had to hack out, if you like, new rules of behaviour. So the young man who followed Tiberius, a man better known probably to classicists, better known to pornographers than to classicists, Caligula, shown here on his coin, was an altogether more terrifying creature. He founded his rule on intimidation of the traditional ruling classes, the senatorial elite. Now, he died and was succeeded by his uncle, Claudius, shown here with his niece and wife, Agrippina. He sought to return his system of government to a more traditional form, but he kept the reins of power secure in his hands. And then when he died, he was succeeded by perhaps the most flamboyant and, in a way, terrifying emperor of the lot, Nero, who demonstrated just how theatrical a Roman tyranny could be, and ultimately provoked his peers to open rebellion, which resulted finally in Nero taking his own life. And with Nero gone, the Julio-Claudian dynasty itself was finished. No blood descendants of Augustus were left alive. Never again would a Julio-Claudian rule, because they had all been killed. However, the system of government founded by Augustus did not end. The Republic did not return. Rome was, once and for all, an empire.